Chicago PD fans are no stranger to drama. Each episode is crammed with heart attack-inducing tension. But this show keeps us on the edge of our seats for another reason. The Windy City is a risky place to work because an actor has left the show every season since it started. And we're about to reveal why. From insane creative choices to behind-the-scenes conflict and deleted exit scenes, here's why we had to say goodbye so many times. Archie Kao as Sheldon Jin. The first Chicago PD star to get the axe and start a long tradition of cliffhanger write-offs was Archie's Sheldon Jin. His death didn't just take fans by surprise, the cast was also shocked. However, the writers knew it had to be done to set the tone for the rest of the show. Co-creator and initial showrunner Matt Olmstead explained, "Archie Kao didn't know, nor did we. The story told was headed in that direction. It started to gain momentum." Matt also admitted that the creatives behind Sheldon's storyline were pleased with the decision. It caused exactly the kind of epic shakeup they were hoping for, by forcing the audience to be outraged together. Although viewers weren't the only ones upset, Jesse Lee Soffer, who plays Jay Halstead on the show, said the whole thing was pretty. He elaborated, "We were very close. We knew right away we were going to miss Archie a lot. That's a hard blow to take, but it made the finale really intense and kind of amazing." So while Archie lost his spot on the call sheet, the show's writers got their wish of a feisty season finale. They liked it so much, they did it a few more times. Stella Maeve as Nadia Decotis. In just 18 episodes, Nadia went from a drug-dependent sex worker to a criminology student and assistant at the intelligence unit. That arc was exactly why fans adored Stella's role so much. It was also why her exit hit so hard. Sure, Nadia wasn't the first character to be killed, but her exit was way more brutal. She met her end during an action-packed crossover with Law & Order SVU right at the end of Chicago PD's second season. But nobody could have predicted how she'd leave, at the hands of a serial killer. That included the writers. In fact, Matt Olmstead actually admitted to The Hollywood Reporter that the writers didn't want Nadia to die. So why did they kill her? Technically, they didn't. The real orchestrator of her demise was Warren Leight and his team of SVU showrunners. Warren admitted there had to be a personal motivation. You don't question for a second why CPD comes to New York if one of their own has been taken hostage by the bad guy. Okay, sure, we understand that, but why did they have to kill her? Couldn't Nadia have been injured or almost killed? Nope, that wasn't going to work for Matt once Warren pitched the serial killer aspect. He explained that Nadia's killing not only worked well with the crossover, but it allowed the writers to focus on new storylines. The whole thing was especially tough for Erin Lindsay, played by Sophia Bush, who was Nadia's mentor and savior. Which makes it ironic that Sophia left the show amid a huge scandal just 2 years later. But we'll get to that in a second. First, we need to talk about Season 3's victim. Brian Geraghty as Sean Roman. Unlike his co-stars, Brian joined the cast in Season 2. He also only signed a year-by-year contract instead of the normal 7-year deal his colleagues received. This was because the actor was already involved with other projects, including his first stint as a producer. Naturally, he didn't want to make a long commitment to Chicago PD. But that wasn't a problem for the writers. They were so desperate to have him, even if it was only for a year, that they immediately snapped up his offer. Honestly, that was a clue that his position in Chicago was tenuous. Despite this, the actor's departure was drama-free. On screen, Sean was injured, meaning he had to leave active service or get a desk job. Instead, he moved to San Diego. The actor's off-screen departure was equally smooth. Matt Olmstead explained, "He gave us what we needed. 2 years of doing a really good job on a character that elevated the show. Even though fans were upset at Sean's exit, at least we got to see it, unlike this next departure." Samuel Hunt as Greg Mouse Gerwitz. Can you believe that even though he was in 35 episodes across 4 seasons, Samuel was not a series regular? Maybe that was the real reason for his awkward farewell. Then again, considering we didn't see him leave, we can't really call it strange. When Mouse wanted to re-enlist in the army, viewers were shocked. On screen, those nearest to Mouse were just as surprised. In fact, it even caused a huge fight with Jay Halstead, who didn't want Greg to go. But he did, and we missed it. Until now. Thanks to Twitter, we can finally see Greg's send-off in a scene that never made it to the show.
Because it's been an honor to work here. But I got a lot to offer the world, so I'm gonna go out there. I'm gonna do it.
Even better, it ends with a makeup scene with Jay. And while this kind of makes up for the fact that Samuel left, we wish we could have seen it on screen. Thankfully, that wasn't a problem for the second cast member who left at the end of Season 4. Sophia Bush as Erin Lindsay. For the first 3 seasons of Chicago PD, the show's cast exits were drama-free. That changed when Sophia Bush resigned as Erin Lindsay. This actress wasn't afraid to air her dirty laundry and continued to do so after she left. Sophia revealed that working conditions on the show were terrible and that she had to deal with inappropriate behavior from Jason Biggie, who plays her on-screen mentor. She explained, "It was a consistent onslaught of abusive behavior. I quit because my body was falling apart, because I was really unhappy." So why stay if she was unhappy? To protect the rest of the cast and crew. At least, that's what Sophia told Dax Shepard.
By the way, when your bosses tell you that if you raise a ruckus, you'll cost everyone their job.
Sure, yeah.
You believe them.
At the start of season 4, Sophia asked the showrunners to make some changes by the end of the season or she'd leave. She even threatened to sue the network if she wasn't let out her contract.
When I finally started talking to my agents and my attorneys about what was going on there, they were like, "How could you not have come to us sooner?"
But here's where it gets really interesting. This wasn't the first time she'd experienced bad behavior at work. Way back when Sophia was in One Tree Hill, showrunner Mark Schwann was accused of sexually harassing several female cast members. And Sophia was definitely not about to have that happen again. Sophia's exit might actually have made things better behind the scenes at Chicago PD. After she left, the show has had no reports of drama, although there have been more farewells. Elias Koteas as Alvin Olinsky. I bet you won't believe us when we say that this actor's departure was totally unplanned. But according to Chicago PD's new showrunner, Rick Eade, that's exactly what happened. He explained that when the writers first came up with the idea of killing off Alvin, it was challenging, but brilliant. And Elias agreed. As the showrunner told TV Guide, this was an extremely difficult decision. But Elias handled the news like a true professional and remained committed to the show and his character. We will miss him dearly. Then again, he also admitted that Alvin's character didn't have to die, and for a few brief seconds, viewers thought the character would survive the stabbing. He didn't. But we're not the only ones in mourning. The writers feel pretty bad about what they did. And they should! As Rick Eade explained, ultimately the final decision is just really hard because everybody loves Elias and he's a great actor and a great person. It's hard. But how did Elias feel about it all? We have no idea. When he left, the actor didn't share any tributes to his co-stars or a teary farewell. Instead, he's gone on to other projects, starting with TV before diving into film. And now it looks like there are exciting things on the horizon for him. Hopefully, he'll manage to steer clear of any knives in his upcoming roles. And if you thought Elias' departure was unexpected, wait until you hear about this next actor. John Seda as Antonio Dawson. When Chicago PD fans said goodbye to Antonio at the end of season 6, they didn't initially realize it was permanent. After his relapse, we all just assumed he'd return after his stint at rehab. We were wrong, because the writers decided to make his trip last forever, and even John Seda accepted it was at the end of his character. After his final episode, the actor tweeted a heartwarming message thanking the cast, crew, and of course, fans. And instead of the well wishes he'd probably been expecting, he was hounded with questions about when he'd return. After all, his character wasn't killed. That means there was a chance we could see Antonio again once he sorted himself out, right? Unfortunately not. But not for the reason you may think. The showrunner was all for a reunion. Rick Eade explained, "The idea is that we imagine what would happen to him in episode 1 of season 7. There was a moment that we were hoping he was actually going to be in the show for that episode, and then it didn't work out. So we just played those scenes off camera and alluded to them. Part of the reason it never worked out is because he'd committed to another show, NBC's La Brea. However, there was actually an upside to his departure. It allowed the show to bring on a new face, even if we only saw it for 1 season. Lisseth Chavez as Vanessa Rojas. When Vanessa Rojas first appeared on screen, we had no idea we'd have to say goodbye to her so soon. The undercover officer played by Lisseth Chavez was a major hit, but her popularity wasn't enough to save her from leaving. But then again, she was never supposed to be a permanent fixture in the show. TV Line revealed that Lisseth's character was only written for a single season, and Vanessa signed a 1-year contract to play the part. And the reason she did that was because she was already set to star in the CW's Legends of Tomorrow, which she filmed while Chicago PD was busy with its 8th season. So fans may have been a little distressed not to see her again, but this actress is already moving on to bigger things. But her character was also important for another reason. She was the last one to be written off the show. For now. Who do you think will be the next to leave? For more info on why your favorite cast members left shows, check out our other videos. Thanks so much for watching, and until next time, stay awesome.